Yes guys, I'm just going to do a quick one on colour packing. Packing in solid black using a 21 curved mag. Okay, just a few tips. You need to ensure you've got plenty of ink on the needle. When the needles contact the skin, you want to see a little puddle of ink landing on the skin. And as you're moving round in small circles, coming down onto the skin at a 45-degree angle, I'm kind of chasing that puddle of ink. I'm watching the needles gliding over the top of the skin, and I'm moving my circles close enough and at a speed enough where they're having enough time to saturate that area solid black, and I'm not having to go over it too much, and I'm not causing too much damage.
The black is red, where the good is.
While I'm working tight into these edges where the black finishes on this left side, I'm angling my machine off to the left slightly, so my left side needles are contacting the skin first, and this just allows me to have really accurate contact along that side. And then I can show a full face of needles when I'm back in the middle section. I'm pushing the needles forward in a circular motion, gliding the ink into the skin. Just a few coaching points for this then. I'm regularly dipping the ink. Anytime I contact the skin, I'm just going to make sure I'm putting a bit of Vaseline on, or whatever tattoo product you're using as a lubricant while you tattoo. Then when I contact, I'm ensuring that there is enough ink in the needle tray by watching it land onto the skin. I'm showing quite a lot of my needle because I like to glide into the skin at the correct needle depth and ensure my green tray isn't touching the skin whatsoever. So I don't like to ride that tube along the skin. As I go, I'll keep regularly patting the bits I've just done, taking off any excess. I'm not smudging and wiping. If I'm wiping too often and smudging and cleaning it with tattoo soap, what I'll find is I'll compromise my stencil. In a matter of minutes, that stencil will start smudging away. So there's a way of tattooing efficiently whilst I'm doing this, and I'm keeping that stencil completely solid onto the skin. Working these dark sections. Again, I can pass my needle in any direction as long as I'm following my coaching points. I'm coming down onto the skin at a 45-degree angle and then gliding my circular motion. If you're ramming your circles too fast and washy like this, what you'll find is you'll saturate the skin inconsistently. So by slowing it down, I'm able to work and move faster. I'm just going to handrail this left side. A little tip worth mentioning, guys, as well. This is me tattooing across the shin, this area, so the skin's really quite thin and not very fleshy, so it can feel quite bony and harsh. So you've got to be really careful to glide that needle and not ram it in too aggressively on the skin in these areas. Where the skin's more fleshy, you're able to apply a little bit more pressure due to the cushioning in the skin from the flesh underneath. At all times, that left hand is used to stretch the skin in all directions to make sure the skin's tight enough so that the needle's gliding in, causing minimum damage. As soon as the skin's loose, the needle can snag on the skin, and it can also rip at the skin without getting the ink packed in properly. Working along this edge now. So I'm showing a full face of needles onto the skin, but working kind of at a diagonal angle to really pack in solid along that edge, and then I can start pushing my circular motion forward to fill in that area. When I've got a puddle of ink on the skin, I'll keep eating back into that puddle and dragging the ink around. So if this section here I'm shading's dry, I'll work backwards a little bit and recollect that puddle and then start dragging it forwards. A little tip, guys, I'd rather too much ink landing on the skin than not enough. Working with a dry needle is just making your needle damage the skin unnecessarily without getting the ink in. Always ensure there's plenty of ink landing onto the skin. I'm going to do quite a few more videos on this though, guys, in the future, so keep an eye out for them. Give it a go.